All right, so we are about 4 minutes in, so I guess we can go ahead and start letting people in. And I sure do appreciate everybody. Welcome everybody. As you starting to come in, some of you are probably getting your audios together. If you don't mind, as you come on, we may have missed, but if you don't mind putting yourself on mute, that would be really awesome. We have a lot of information that's going to be shared today. So if you can hear me and see me, if you don't mind putting in the chat where you're from, my name is Keith Jones. As you can see, for the I'll be hosting today, have the privilege of hosting, and then my co-host is normally my co-host, but he's the featured investor, Scott Buckle. So this is going to be a really good one. He has a lot of information he's going to share today. So if you don't mind just putting in the chat where you're from, that would be really awesome. So that way we know where people are coming from, because we have people from all over the United States. And sometimes we just wonder if there's going to be a state that we haven't seen before. So if you don't mind putting it in there, I really appreciate that. Again, welcome, Brenda, D, Ellie, Renee, oh, two Renees, and then Tom, Susan, I think it says Vassar, William, Baker, Yaz, Loretta, Susan. So, hey, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Today's definitely a good one. Definitely a good one. So again, if you don't mind putting in the chat where you coming from or where you're from, that would be really awesome. So that way I know that you can at least hear me, because I want to make sure that you can hear me. And then you can see my slides. So this is going to be a good one. And so if you're out and about, you know, be careful, because what we're going to show and share with you today is going to be a lot of good information. And you definitely want to make sure you are in a safe place to be able to participate. At the same time, this is a live meeting. So you can ask question in the chat. We really ask if you can keep muted. Um, as our investor is talking about his properties, you can put questions in the chat. And at the same time, he may be traveling, walking around the property. So sometimes our signals may drop, but just stay with us, and we'll make sure that you definitely will enjoy this Saturday as we come as we get ready for today. So we got a couple more minutes, gonna let some more people in. So I'm looking, we got, hey, Fort Worth, Texas, Chicago showing up, DC, Seattle, Fairfax, Virginia. Hey, we got Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Elizabeth from, hey, Richmond Hill. Welcome. I'm from the Northern Virginia area, so we got Cincinnati showing up. Congratulations. Hey, Brooklyn, New York, by the way, at Crown Heights. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome. Hey, San Francisco Bay is showing up today, and we got folks from Kansas. Oh, this is awesome. So we going all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. Sound like we're going all the way up north. We're coming down south. We got Detroit. We got Alabama showing up today. Represent where you're coming from. This is really awesome. Because today, as you can see on there, we're going to talk about new construction property. Oh, this is really awesome. I mean, to think about, there's houses everywhere. And then could you put a house in the area that you want to put one in? Well, we're going to talk about some things today. And we're going to talk about how that process is. And then our featured investor is going to just share a wealth of knowledge. So, hey, welcome everybody. So if you're just coming on board, thank you for being here today. Hey, my name is Keith Jones, and I just want to welcome you here. If you don't mind putting in the chat, if this is the first time you're being here, or if you've been here before, put in the chat where you're coming from, because we love to know where people are from. If you have pen and paper, go ahead and write, get ready for that. However, you're going to take some notes. And then whoever invited you to this meeting, you might as well go ahead and tell them thank you. I'm just telling you, just go ahead and get that out the way right now. Go ahead and tell them thank you for allowing, for sharing this, and that you're going to get a lot of information. So I'm not going to waste too much time. I mean, I'm just so excited to really get started. Again, welcome from everybody who's just coming on board. Please stay muted as we get ready to start right now. Stay muted. Welcome. We got more people coming in, but we got a lot of information to share. So we do this about every Saturday. And why we like to do this, Scott Buckle had this vision of, hey, you know what? People always talk about real estate investing. What if we showcase the investor in action? And then that's just an awesome idea. And it really helps me, and hopefully it helps you as people are think about real estate investing, or the ones who are already in real estate investing, or people want to take their game to the next level. We love to have these type of, these meetings where you get to ask the investor questions and they get to share and show what they're actually doing. So this is really awesome. So again, welcome everybody. Scott, a lot of people are here from different parts of the United States. I know you're out and about. I don't want to take up too much time because I know you have a story. I know you. We have some people who haven't been here before. So if you don't mind coming out and kind of sharing your story, of course, about the property, but we really are curious about being a real estate investor. So if you don't mind coming on out and kind of sharing some information with us.
Well, good morning, Keith. Good morning, everybody on. Welcome, welcome. We appreciate you guys jumping on today. Yeah, I'm typically on the other side of the camera and mic as I started doing these Zoom property tours with the help of folks over 4 years ago. It was 4 years in June that we started doing these Zoom property tours, and we absolutely love showing and featuring investors from our community, as we're a nationwide community. We love featuring their story, their deals, what they're doing, and it it really does help and resonate with folks who are getting in the business, who are looking at our community and trying to understand, what we're about and how we help each other and collaborate with each other and share. So thanks, Keith, for hosting today. Appreciate it very much. And again, appreciate everybody getting on. So my name is Scott Buckholtz. I am a full-time real estate investor. I found this community back in 2015. So it'll be actually 9 years this October 31st. I'll never forget the date. But prior to that, I worked in corporate America. Um, my whole adult life, I'd only worked for two companies, which is a very rare thing today. So for 35, 37 years, I only worked for two different companies. And I've been one of those individuals, and I think a lot of it has to do with mindset. I've always loved what I've done. And starting back at the age of 12 years old, I started working very early, and I loved every position and every company I ever worked for. And I think, again, it was a lot to do with my mindset and looking at everything, positive and just trying to be my best and give my best in everything I did. But so I worked in corporate America, and like a lot of people, maybe a few of you on today, um, basically, I went through a downsizing, and I worked for a company, and I was at the time, I was a project manager for the company. And one of my responsibilities was I traveled around the country and help grow the business as far as growing the markets, building new stores, hiring new people, all the different facets of entering a new market. So I was doing that and traveling quite a bit. My last year with the company, I was on the road like 325 or 35 days out of the year. So I was pretty much in a hotel nonstop. And so when they decided that they weren't going to grow anymore, and I was offered a different position, and I ended up taking the severance package because I knew and had been thinking for a long time that I wanted to really control my own time. And I'd always had a bug about real estate investing. Way back when folks who got into this business, who were mentors and trainers, like the individual Carlton Sheets, which goes way back in time. I bought his VHS tapes, his CDs, and stuff like that, but I never did anything with them. Like so many people, you buy those books and you buy those tapes and all that different stuff, and it ends up going in a closet. And what I was lacking was support, a community, and so the material was great. I just never applied myself and never, it was one of those things. I'll get to it. I'll really dive in next week, or I'll really dive in next month, and that never came together. So when the whole transition happened, I told my wife, I said, I've talked to you, I've been talking about it for a while now. I saw my parents be real estate investors. They back in the 70s and 80s, they accumulated about 27 or 29 rental properties, and which obviously really helped them in their later life as far as when they got to the point where they didn't want to deal with that. They, set them up for their retirement years. But I saw that and I really had the bug. So I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to start researching. So I got online. I was on YouTube. I was on all the different websites. Went to a couple, what we call today like the guru type things, where you go to a hotel room for a weekend. And I did a couple of those, and it was just I just didn't feel it. I just didn't, I didn't feel what I needed, to get out of it. And
I think we may have lost him just for a quick second. So, as he kind of, he was sharing his story. So, if y'all don't mind being patient with us, he's out there in the new construction area. So his signals just a
can
little bit.
you can you hear me okay, Keith?
Yeah, we got you back.
Okay, sorry about that. I went on mute as well. So, um, but anyway, I found this community through LinkedIn, and once I went to and got connected with the group and started attending stuff, I was like, this is the group I want to be a part of. And so that was back in 2015. Like I said, started out, I'm a full-time real estate investor now. I've done uh, quite a few flips. I've done several new construction projects. I have started a portfolio of rental properties. Matter of fact, we've got someone on Catherine on from Topeka, have rental properties there in that market. And today, though, Keith, I'm really excited about sharing and featuring my newest new construction project. And we're actually on site. So I apologize if I cut.
Oh, looks sound like he cut out just a little bit again. We're just gonna give it a couple more seconds. Again, hey, this is a this is a live meeting, so this is gonna be interesting. So just give it a couple more seconds here. Hopefully he gets up there.
Keith, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I went in and turned my Wi-Fi off. I'm hoping that helped. Um, Sometimes that does when I'm in an area, and there are houses around me, so I don't know if my phone's trying to connect to Wi-Fi's in the area. Are you starting your screen share, Keith?
I am. Can you see it?
Well, it's just turning. The wheel is turning for me.
Yeah, so we are now sharing the screen.
I am not seeing it, unfortunately, on my side. I'm just seeing Keith Jones sharing screen.
So the first slide we have is the one where you have just the land there with your stakes in the ground.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing that screen share right now, Keith. All I'm seeing is you.
How about now, Scott?
Here you go. Got it. Keith, I'm on now. I got the screen share.
There
You
you go.
good?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's that. Those pictures, we'll go through these fairly quick because I want to spend some time in the property here. So those pictures right there, and I want to start out first of all with new construction. Obviously, finding the lot, finding one that's developable, and it's really important to know the market, where you're at, what you're going to build, who the end customer is, who would be buying the property. And so this particular subdivision that we're in, and I'll show those here in a second, I'll do a 360. Um, this subdivision has about 70 homes in it, and it's a really nice home. The price is going from the high 400s to the low sevens. And this lot that I purchased was the very last lot that was not developed. It was the lot at the very entrance of the subdivision. It's almost an acre in size, and it was owned by the neighbor who kept it. He actually lives back in the back of the subdivision, and he was going to build on it. And I just happened to, I'm constantly looking for different uh, opportunities, different properties, different land lots, things like that. And this thing came up, and I jumped on it right away. And because I knew I just built a home right across the street that I did last year and sold it on C. And we sold that house for right at 500,000. And so I mean, literally, I could walk to that house from this house. It's pretty close. So I knew the area really well. I knew the end demographics. This was a really nice subdivision, probably one of the nicest ones in this area. And so we ended up buying this property. But right here, you see, this is before we even started digging. Keith, you'll see the house to the right. If you want to go through the slides, that would be great. If you'll move those along for us.
There you go.
Let's see which one you got next.
This is where you got the dozer there. You're starting to dig into the ground.
Yeah, for some reason the slideshow's not showing on my end. I don't know. I love IT, I love technology, but sometimes everybody else can see it. I see you, and it says it's probably Scott's connection. Probably right. I'm showing 3 bars, and Keith Jones sharing screen share again. Let me see if I can get out of my truck here at the site and see if my signal improves any. I usually don't have any problem. Keith, are you hearing me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, I think we'll go ahead and start showing live here, as long as we can get through, if we can,
No problem. So what I can do just real
because I
quick,
don't want to.
I can walk through and just kind of show the slides, and I'll just
Yeah,
tell you.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
can't
So
see
I'll
him
just go
right
ahead and
now.
just kind of walk
Go
through.
ahead.
Yep. So everybody, hopefully you can see the slides. If you don't mind putting in the chat that you can see, I'm just going to just verify this real quick. Somebody just put something in the chat if you can see it. Okay, there we go. All right, so this slide right here, you can see that he has the dozer. This is where he's getting started. Um, uh, Having, the workers out there kind of starting that process. As you can see now that, he kind of has the hole in the ground. Now they kind of like you putting in the walls of the basement. Anything you want to talk about there, the concrete and having all those teams there real quick, Scott?
Yeah, Keith, I could actually see it again for some reason, but yeah, that's digging the actual basement out. This has got a full basement. It is not a walkout because of the lot that it's on. Does not allow us for a walkout. Um, and these are pictures right here where we put the footers in and put the foundation wall in. And there's quite a process through this. Before we could even start doing the lot, we had to have a surveyor out and helped us place the house on the lot so we'd fit all the zoning, the setbacks, and all the different things that are required. Um, that over to the far right, if you can still hear me, okay, Keith,
Yeah.
that was a boom truck. It was actually putting the concrete into the foundation walls. Those are forms you see Those are 9-foot forms. We put 9-foot walls in the basements, which is very, I want to call it unique. Not a lot of people build houses with 9-foot ceilings, and especially in the basement. There's some more pictures of the foundation walls. If you want to keep moving on, Keith, that'd be great.
Is that your sump pump that you have there?
Yes, that is the sump pump. This house, again, where how it's placed in the hill that it's on, and a little bit in the property, we have a sump pump in there that drains out.
Hey Scott, just real quick, that so when you bought the lot, did
Uh-huh.
it come with the plans already since the neighborhood was already being developed?
No, it did not, Keith. That's a good question. So, this is not my first new construction project. So I've done several of them now, and I had to come up with a design. I had an idea what I wanted to do. Um, I wanted to build because of the layout of the land and the lot. It's very wide from east to west, not very deep from north to south, from front to back. And so I wanted to build a sprawling ranch. A lot of people are starting to get away from two-story houses. The desire or what people are wanting is more on one level with the basement instead of the two levels. So I built a pretty good size sprawling ranch. It's about 4,400 square feet house. And so the I came up with the design of the layout. I knew what I wanted, and then I worked with an architect, obviously, on these projects. Told him kind of what I wanted, and we put it together. Of course, it had to go through building and zoning and all the different things. And that takes a little while, depending on where you're located. I mean, I've heard some people say it could take up to 6 months where they're at. It was about 60 days for us to get through all the building and zoning departments. There's several different people that have to stamp it and say, yes, they approve it. But again, not being our first house that we've done, we know what they're looking for, and we know, the code and all that. So, um, Keith, can you still hear me okay?
Yes. And then as you was going through that process, don't they normally assign like a person within the area that kind of help you through that process to make sure you get through the process also?
Well, yeah, there's people that you get build relate because this business is all about relationships, and there's people in the zoning and the planning department that you build a relationship with, which I have in this market. This is in Covington, Kentucky. This is a little community just south of Cincinnati in northern Kentucky, not very far from the river. And then we also have an inspector, which I know this inspector because I've done other projects before. So got a good, got his cell phone, he's got ours, and you know so we have to have inspections throughout the whole process. I mean, we had to have inspections for the footers. That's the concrete footers that the foundation sits on. And then from there, after we had that, we had to have a foundation inspection. Then we had to have, before we poured the concrete basement, we had to do certain things there as far as gravel and uh, rebar and a vapor barrier and some different things like that. So there's several inspections. We've probably had up to this project maybe 10 inspections already, from electrical to plumbing to framing to insulation inspection, back deck inspection. So the next inspection we get is our final. So we're through all the what I'd say the building inspections as far as what you need to get through. And so now the only thing else that we'll have is a final, and then we'll also need a sidewalk. They have to do an inspection for that too. But so this picture you're seeing there, Keith, you went back. If you guys see that black on the walls, that is waterproofing. So you want to, when you build a house like this, you want to waterproof your foundation walls. And so that's what that black is. What you see there on the left is the actual truck that brought in the steel. We had to put in I-beams and supports for the basement to support the first floor. And so you see that on that truck. And that was what that picture is of there. Go ahead, Keith.
Yep, I moved, and so now we see more beams down in the basement.
Yeah, so now I'm seeing this is after the beams have been set, the I beams, and that's about just for those two I beams and those columns. You see those concrete pads that they're sitting on, those have to be 2 by 2, and they have to be 30 inches minimal deep. And that's what, that bears the weight. Besides the outside foundation walls, then that's what bears the weight throughout the structure of the house. That steel was almost $4,500 just for the steel. That includes the crane and delivering it and setting it and putting it in place. And then and then on the right, we have a picture of the underground plumbing that went in. This is before the concrete basement was poured. Um, and you can see one of the stacks that was coming up with a valve on it. That's for testing the plumbing for inspection. These pictures you got coming up again are just the guys in there. My team, my concrete guys are in there, and we're pouring the basement slab. You can keep moving on there, Keith. Can you still hear me okay?
Yep. So now it looks like you're starting to
Okay,
fill
so
up. Now it looks like you're starting to fill up one of the sides.
yeah, that's the garage right there. That's gravel before we laid the concrete, but you can see the this framing starting to go up there. That's the floor joists, both on the left and the right.
I mean, that's a close-up shot.
Yeah, it's a real close-up shot of the framing starting. So we acquired this property, I want to say in January, and we started digging the very first few days of March. Again, that's more of the floor structure. There's where the walls are starting to go up. That's uh, that's the front right wall. That's a bedroom right behind that, which you guys will get to see here in just a second. And then on the left is the front of the house. Okay, there you can see quite a bit more has been put up. You still see a huge pile of dirt, which you're not going to see here in a second. But that pile of dirt was from when we dug out the foundation. You want to save that dirt on site because you need that for your grade. So you can literally backfill up to the foundation and get your grade set so you have a slope for wash off, for rain to run off. There's a picture, the inside of the framing going up.
So the question, one of this, like,
Now
at what
the
point do
picture,
you
the
actually get the
picture
chance to breathe? Like,
No, I breathe along. I breathe through the whole process. Like I said, this is it's a great question. So that picture on the left was the actual crane that was lifting up the trusses for the roof. And those are something you don't put up there by hand. We rent a crane and we set all those trusses in one day. It usually takes about 6 hours to set all the trusses in this house, and there was quite a few. Um, but no, back to your question, Keith, about breathing. So again, over the years here, I've built a good cabinet or good team of, contractors. And so I've got folks, the guy that came out with the crane, I've used that guy over and over. The guy that, the company that I bought the truss package from, I've worked with them over and over. Um, all the way to my contractor. I do have like a general contractor that oversees everything, so I don't have to be out here every day. We communicate, even though it's about 20 minutes from my house. Um, through the process, like I was just got back from being gone out of the country for quite a while. So I got updates and pictures along the way and was able to answer questions and even place a few material orders while I was out of the country. Um, so if you want to keep moving on, Keith, you can see that the trusses are up there, and as we continue to go on, those are that's the cutouts for the windows, which you'll see here shortly.
Then we got a picture of your truck.
You'll want to keep moving on the pictures. Yeah. Oh, good. That's a picture of my old truck. I just had, a matter of fact, my lease expired on that truck. I usually do leasing on my truck because I just reuse it for work. So I don't drive it as many miles as maybe most people do. And so those are actually the tubes. And they're not, we cut those, obviously, they're not that long when they go in the ground, but that's for our footers for our back deck. And some of those footers, because of the grade, are, up to almost 40 to 42 inches deep under the ground. So that's what those were. That was the stairs right after it got delivered that goes down to the basement. And so that was sitting in the garage. Same thing. This stair company, I've worked with this stair company several times. So we give them the measurements. They get the stairs. That it took them about 5 days to do that turnaround on those stairs. You can see a dumpster out in the front yard. Um, and I'm having a hard time a little bit with the picture, but I think you see roofing guys up there. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So they're putting down the plywood uh, sheeting up there, and so that has to go down on the trusses before you actually put the barrier, the waterproof sheeting down before the shingles go up. That picture there on the left, that is actually, I don't know if anybody on the phone knows what that is, but that is a egress well, window well, which we have in the basement, and that's before we actually installed them. Um, it's a pretty good size egress window in the basement. And what that is when you have for fire code and things like that, they have to have an ability besides the going up the stairs and going out of the house. They have to have a second way to get out in case there was a fire in the basement. They couldn't go up the stairs. So those are egress windows. You see more roofing being done on the right. So when I started this project, Keith, I budget everything on new construction for a year, and we're hoping to have this done and sold within about 9 months. Um, that's completely done, sold, closed, and let's see what we got there. What are those pictures on? Oh, that's the roof on the right. That's after the shingles went down. Again, you're seeing the guys up there doing the roof. Our theme on this house, guys, we get brick delivered on Monday. So this is going to be a combination brick and rock. And um, so, one of the things I look at, and I'll show you here in a second, I look at all the other houses around it. Like in this area, since it's a developed subdivision, I'm looking at all the other houses. And one of the real popular colors right now is a lot of people like white brick with black accent. So we're doing all the outside in a whitish color with black windows, black roof, black doors, black downspouts and gutters to really make it pop. That's where they dug out those footers for the back deck. And then you can see where they've poured it with those tubes. Okay, those are footer tubes. And I believe we have 6 of them in the ground there. You can keep rolling, Keith.
Yeah. So now we got the pictures with the windows in.
There's there's the pictures with the windows in, the black windows in. The roof is up. It's black as well. We went with an architectural 3-dimensional lifetime warranty shingle. The windows, we ordered those through a window company that I've worked with before. The window package was about 10,000 for the window package. The roofing with materials and labor, that was we got that done pretty reasonable this time. We got that done for about 8. That's for materials and labor to install that roof. So
So I do got to ask this
a little
question. What
bit,
is that blue stick on the
yeah,
right hand side?
blue stick on the right hand side. I'm having a hard time seeing the blue stick.
Oh yeah.
Is it on the right? It's on the picture on the right.
Yes.
You talking about the blue stick by the curb right there.
Yes.
So that is, yeah. So here locally, when we're working with the water company, they want us to put a stake in and paint it blue. So they come out and they actually install the crock and the meter. So that is the water meter under there. There's a crock that's about 3 feet deep that they put in, and everything is blue for the water company. So that actual water meter is between the curb and where the sidewalk's going to be. And then we'll end up trenching from there back to the house for the water. We'll have a trench from the street for the sanitation, and then one for the electrical and gas.
And so now, do you schedule that, or
On the left,
or do they come out? Just
yes,
okay.
yes. No, we schedule it. We schedule it. You're seeing some pictures after the grade was done. Those big pile of dirt has been moved, um, and the front yard. I've got one out here again, but it's over on the far left. Um, and then we actually, when I start a project like this, I bring a porta john out as well. I rent on a monthly basis. That way your workers can use that. They don't have to stop and get in their car and drive down to the gas station, which costs money and time. So it pays for itself. Let's put it that way. And then on the right, I think is a picture, you see the electrical.
Yes.
Is that what yeah. So that's where the electrician has got everything ready for the meter. And like I said, we have temporary power right now. And what that means basically is, like on this particular one, we have transformers that are out by the street. So there's one transformer for every two houses. And so we have temporary power there. We have a couple outlets that the energy company hooked up. Okay, there's your egress window to the right. That's those three gray half moon shaped things that you saw in the garage. That's the egress window that was put in for the downstairs basement. That's for the bedroom down there. That looks like a picture. Is that sheetrock on the left? Yep. I think this is a picture when we're getting into starting to do sheetrock. Some of the materials there. I think the one on the right is the kitchen floor. You guys will see there's electrical coming up through the floor and plumbing, because this house we're doing two sinks. We're doing the main sink, and then we're doing a prep sink, prep sink in the island. So we've got that to the left. Again, you can see where the insulation went in. On the right, the guys are starting to drywall. You can see some of the ceiling up. That looks like the bedroom there. That is a raised ceiling. That picture on the right is in the basement bedroom. That's that egress window that you can see from inside.
Yeah, I can definitely see you put recessed lightings in quite a few spaces there.
Yeah, recessed lighting is very popular. It still is. I mean, we have some key spots where, besides the vanity lights and the bathrooms, we do have some key areas that we're putting lights, a lot of ceiling fans, all the bedrooms, the office, the living room, the basement family room, all those I think we got a total of 12 ceiling fans, including the one on the front porch and the one on the back deck. There's the inside electrical panel. That's ready to go. It's ready to have the breakers popped in. And then Keith's is just basically pulling up some drawings. So, one of the things you talked about, Keith, kind of the vision starts right here. We start coming up with drawings with the architect of what we want. He initially sent me something. This is not the first one. He sent me one, and then we've tweaked it after that. And this is the finished, approved plans from the county and city. So this particular drawing you see here, that's your elevation drawings. Kind of see the front, the sides, the back. That's your elevations. So you can see what it's going to look like when it's done.
Yeah, and this is also, matter of fact, this is actually be a good time where we actually do a transition over to, so now we can go live. So I'm gonna stop this PowerPoint right here so you can go live and actually show us the property
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah. So again, Keith, and everybody on, I mean, this is not the first new build that I've done. And, one of the things that when I got involved in this community, Keith, back in 2015, one of the things is that, that we offer and that's available to us, and I really embraced, was we have a lot of great mentors that are in this business, and we have some incredible classes. that I really engaged myself and really several of them I watched multiple times. But we actually have a house on a class on new construction, on land development, fix and flip, rehab. Um, I mean, we've got over 60 some courses. And so I really got in that. That's really helped me get to this place as far as in my, growth and business. It's just diving into those classes and really, really educating myself.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna
for
flip.
the folks who are here today, as Scott's about to show us the property, if you've been trying to, wondering if you wanted to do something like this, how do you kind of get started? Well, I'll just say contact the person who invited you to this meeting, and they will help you get connected to like the next meeting that kind of talks about the steps, the process. How do we come together? How often do we come together? The education that Scott was talking about, and then that connection to be able to go and tackle the goals and things that you want to do. And so just go ahead and ask that person to tell you when the next meeting is. I think we have one right after this. That's a different Zoom link. So just go ahead and ask that person and they'll get you connected. But Scott, I'm seeing your picture. I see the dumpster, so I'll let you go ahead on.
No, I just was while you were talking, just kind of show everybody the houses around it. Again, this lot is at the beginning of the subdivision, right up at the end of this road, just the main crossroad, and this lot goes all the way to the end of that road up there. Like I said, it's almost an acre. This is all part of the lot, so they're going to have quite a big lot here.
Can you
And then
turn your
this
phone
is the
sideways?
house and the dumpster. Absolutely.
There we go. Awesome.
Do you see it better?
Yes.
I'm trying to get that on so there we go. Let's see. Let's hold the camera still. Is that better, Keith?
Yes.
Yeah. So earlier in those pictures, you saw a lot of dirt. We had this thing. The dirt was. I want to say the dirt pile was 30 feet high. All the dirt we took out for the basement, and then we used that again to come back in and grade. And you can see the what we call grade. This is where your yard you can see how the slope at the front goes back toward the sidewalk, toward the street. So you're grading that away from the house. So obviously any water rain wash off, all that drains naturally. Um, there's our porta john. Always got to have one of those on a project. But this house, because we did a sprawling ranch, we did a side entry garage. And right here, you see where the driveway is already cut out, ready to go. Um, we've got a 2-car garage, and we went. This is the first house I went with a taller garage door. This is actually an 8-foot garage door. Most garage doors are only 7 foot high, so I went with 8 foot, and so that's something that is different. That people will notice how big of a garage door it is, and then you guys can see the black windows here, that lumber and that material over there. That is for the back. Uh, that is floor joists and 2x10s and stuff like that. Again, you'll see inside that garage, there's a lot of mud and stuff for the drywalling. They're doing, there's one of my guys. He's waving. There's one of my drywallers right there working today. I love, I love this contractors working on a Saturday. Uh, Progress, keep things rolling. So I kind of want to walk Keith. Let me know if you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can see hear you. And it's just a little grainy, so
I'm
you
gonna
may have to go just a little bit slow, so that way the video catches up. But all that land to the left is part of the property. Is that correct?
say that one more time, Keith.
All the land to the left of the garage, like as you come out the garage, that's part of the whoever the new
Yes,
owner
it
of
goes
the.
all the way to the street. I'm at the dumpster now, but yeah, absolutely. So this,
Wow,
I'm actually on the very edge. This pole here. This is where our edge of our driveway is going to go. Um, so like if I'm right here standing on the concrete once it's poured, this is the lot that goes all the way down there.
that's
And we
awesome.
got some woods behind it, which is kind of cool. So it's going to have a nice view out the back. But I kind of wanted to walk around and show you guys a little bit of the outside, then we'll go inside. Am I walking a little too fast?
Nope, you good to go.
Okay, I'm trying to go slow. See the inside of the garage, all that mud for drywalling. So once they get the drywall up, they'll tape and mud all the joints, all the corners. So we're not quite to that stage. They're still drywalling. I'd say we're probably doing mud and stuff and taping on Wednesday this week. They get a day in today, and then they get a full day in. It looks like we got a skeleton crew here today, a couple guys. I'd say Monday the drywalls will be back with 6 to 8 guys. So here's our black windows that you see.
Yes.
Yeah, and we've got, we're, if you can see there, we're wired out for sconce lighting. I put 16 can lights will go in all around the soffit around this whole house for lighting. It's going to be really pretty. Um, as we walk in here, this will be our front porch. Here's our yard, and it's graded down to the sidewalk. This will be our front porch here, if you can see it. Oops. As long as I don't fall on you. That'll be the front porch. We've got 2 can lights. Oh, excuse me, we've got 3 can lights up there and a ceiling fan. And then there's a sconce light that'll be right next to the front door. You can see we have a front door with a side light on it. That's the side glass, 14-inch side light. Those 2 windows go into the office. These 2 windows go into the garage. So the garage is going to have a lot of light. This is a front bedroom right here that you're seeing. This here is we have to do underground um, draining for the gutters and downspouts. So that's what the downspouts and gutters will tie into. So that's one of them there. And then we'll have another one over here on this corner. Like I said, they got the yard cleaned up pretty good. Now we just need to throw all this stuff in the dumpster. This is where our transformer is, and we have temporary power. You can see a couple electrical cords coming out of there. So that's where we'll trench from there, pretty much follow that blue line, that blue electrical line, and that'll be trenched up here to the actual electrical meter and box. There's one of your downspouts. Again, if you look up there, if you can see it, you'll see some wiring hanging out from under the soffit. That's going to be where the sconce or the can lights go for accent lighting for lanes for yeah. And then if you see that flex tube coming out, that is for a vent in the bathroom there. There's a bathroom right there, a full-size Jack and Jill bathroom. So that's where that vent is coming out of for the exhaust fan. And then you'll see one down here coming out. That's for the basement full bathroom. And then we got this really nice. Now, this house here next to us last August, and it's about 12 years old. This house sold for 545.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll walk back here. Again, you're seeing the black windows. We got windows in the bedrooms, 9-foot ceilings, both in the basement and in the first floor. Here's that egress window that you have to have. Another downspout drain. And here's where the back deck's going to go. We've already got the roof put in. That will be a finished ceiling with a ceiling fan, and it's got 4 can lights and a ceiling fan. And so we'll have a deck right there. And that deck will be, as far as height wise, will be right at the top of that black line that
Ooh.
you see there. And it'll
We
come
got
across.
so we got about like 15 more minutes. And so one of the questions came in is like, what's the color of the doors would be? Have you
The doors will be black as well.
so it'd be
Let me
like a
go ahead
black and
and
white?
yeah. So we'll have the black and white theme. I'm really excited about that. Across the street, you will see one that's kind of a creamish color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one, ours is going to be white with black roof, black. Everything's going to be black. All the different colors you see, the black garage door, all that. Let me get inside here, Keith. I want to show folks the inside real quick. Journey, I can't really see questions right now, Keith.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. All right, we're about to go through the garage into the house. I hope we don't break up or anything here connection wise. Okay, here's inside. Got a lot of drywall stacked here. Got 10-foot ceiling in the garage, or like 10 and a half in the garage. I've already got a garage door opener in. Our garage is black when it's shut. There's our insulation. You're required to insulate anything that is a living space that contacts the garage. So this is all living space. There's a man door right there. And access outside the garage. You don't have to open the garage door. And yes, they've quite a bit more drywall since I was here. As we walk in here, this is a mud room. We have custom cabinets for this. I went with a company called Thomasville. Anybody's ever heard of them in cabinets? They're very nice, upper in line. But we'll have a mud room here with a bench and upper cabinets. So we come into the mud room, and to the right is open living space.
So, hey Scott, I think
This is the
my okay, there
pantry.
we go. My video just caught up. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Can you see the pantry? I like doing large pantries, Keith, walk-in pantries.
Well, it looked like we may have lost his signal just for a second, so we just give him a couple more seconds. So I see that y'all putting some questions in. This is an awesome time to go ahead and put your questions in. So when he comes back, we can go ahead and get
Yeah,
those.
I'm back.
Yeah.
This is the
Hey
this is the
Scott, real
setback
quick.
for the refrigerator. Yeah.
I know you're walking through, but we got a couple of questions that came in. Like, how did you find the contractors when you
Yes.
first got started? As you're kind of walking through.
When when I first got started, guys, I mean, I'm not on the same contractors I was day one. I've gone through some contractors, and one of the things obviously to do is you want to vet your contractors. You want to, if you got a general that oversees everything, that's their day to day type thing, you want to vet him or her. And how you do that is you look at other projects, talk to other people that they've worked with or for. Same thing with contractors like this drywall here. This is not the first house he's done for us. Before we got started with him, I actually went to a project they were working on and looked at their work, looked at their seams, looked at their straight lines, all that stuff. I looked at how they taped and mudded and prepped for the painting, and they did a really good job. So, but yes, it does take a little time to build them. I mean, I will say that the HVAC guy I have, he's only the second one. And he's done probably 12 projects for me or more. So I've been with him for a while, and he's really good. We have a great relationship. This right here is the living space. This is going to have a custom cabinet with a fireplace in it, room for a big 75-inch flat screen. This will be a living area. You've got your ceiling fan or uh, your ceiling fans up there. This is going to be a little eating area. There'll be an actual chandelier there. There's your entryway. Let me get through some more of this, Keith, if I can. So in here, because they got the drywall, it's a little bit dark. If you guys notice, that's called green board. This is water board. So anywhere you're going to have like vanities, toilets, showers, washer, kitchen sink, the drywall needs to be a water board, what we call a green board. If it does get wet, it's so it doesn't mold and stuff like that. And then you see your dryer up, and that's for a sink right there. We'll have custom cabinets in here, lower and upper. We're doing quartz throughout the whole house. There's your washer hookup. So it's a pretty good sized laundry room. Keith, you still with me?
Yep, I'm still with you.
So this is the master. You can see the raised ceiling, vaulted ceiling in the master. It's got a couple of windows, so lots of light. And then it has an exterior door, which this door is not the finished door. The door that goes in here will be glass with blinds inside the glass for the master.
Will that go out to the deck?
Yes, it will, Keith. Good. We wanted to have access to the deck as we come in here. There's a real large walk-in closet. I like putting windows in walk-out closets or walk-in closets. A lot of people love the natural light in their closet for looking at their clothes and different stuff like that. So we've got that there. That's the big closet. We actually have two walk-in closets in the master. As we come around here, here's the second walk-in closet right here. Again, these are 9-foot ceilings. We're going to have two vanities, one on the right, one on the left, and that's tempered glass. You got to have anywhere you're within so many feet of water, you got to have tempered glass. Here is what we call the toilet closet or the water closet. This is for your toilet. So it's a separate room. And then this is a pretty good size walk-in shower. What we've got here, you can see the back of that laundry room. So the curb will go right there, and then you have glass, and then there's your valve or diverters right there. So you can actually open the door to the shower. I like doing that so people can turn on the water before they actually get in and get drenched. And then there's your head there. I'm doing a double head in this one. There's one right there, and there's one coming out of the ceiling as well. I like doing those. A lot of people, if you've never showered with an overhead head and a front head where you can turn them off, turn both on, turn one or the other, it's a really nice feature. And this will all be tiled out, Keith.
Awesome.
Still with me? How are we doing on time, sir?
Yep. So we have about like 8 more minutes, and then I know you're going to talk numbers because there's questions about, like how,
You bet.
what's the square footage, how many bedrooms and bath, and
It's 4,400 square foot. It's 44 square foot. It's 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4 full baths, 5 bedrooms. Plus we have an office on top of the 5 bedrooms. We have a huge downstairs family room. We actually have a home theater, a dedicated home theater room with a bar in it and projector and screen. And then we have a gym downstairs as well. This house is loaded with features. One of the things I really try to do when we go, first of all, know the market. Then I try to design a house that's going to set itself apart. So when people come in, they're like, wow, I haven't seen that before. I haven't seen that at that price point before. So I try to offer a lot of value. This will be where the island is, where they're putting their scraps of sheetrock. That'll all go in the dumpster once they're done. They don't throw these bigger pieces away yet because they may need small pieces, and they'll cut from that. And then there's your plumbing coming up and you can see that's for where they did the plumbing test. That's a valve to get their inspection. And then we got electrical on both ends of the bar. This island is going to have a prep sink, a garbage disposal, a microwave cabinet in it, and then some other neat cabinet things. But again, the ceiling is a vaulted ceiling. So not only is it 9-foot ceilings in here because it's vaulted, this room looks enormous. And I don't know if the picture is justifying it, but it's pretty big.
no, it
There's the
it
stairs
definitely
going.
looks like it.
There's the stairs going down to the full basement. This is your entryway right here. Here's the office right from the front. We actually put this office, and we also designed a closet in the office. Someone could literally make this like a baby's room if they wanted to. But offices are real popular right now. So
Yeah, I
you
agree.
can't see it, but behind here is a nice coat closet. As we continue on, Keith, here's one of the bedrooms right here, front bedroom. With a walk-in closet, small, but walk-in. And then here is where we have the Jack and Jill bathroom. What that means is basically 2 bedrooms share Will you furnish for staging? I don't think we will, KCM. I think we'll have this sold. We're going to actually start marketing this next week online. Um, so uh, this is a Jack and Jill where both bedrooms share this. So we'll have a custom vanity from wall to wall, two sinks, two vanity lights. There's a little alcove that we put shelving in for towels, things like that. And then we have a separate little thing come in with a door on it for the toilet and for the bathtub. This will be tiled up to the ceiling. Keith, do you have any other questions while I'm going through here? This is the other bedroom.
So I'm looking here. It says, what to expect to be the square foot price of the complete build?
Well, it's 4,400 square feet, and we're going to put it in right now, unless the market goes higher. We're going to be right in at 600,000 for this house, which is a great value. It's right in the middle of what houses are either been sold for in this area.
Well, just in your neighborhood itself, Scott, it's like really awesome because as you was showing us on the outside, even the neighbor next door, and then how you built the kind of like the one level living, and then down in the basement is more of your entertainment, which so a person can actually just stay upstairs the whole entire time. But if they want to do like
Right.
entertaining, movie nights and game room and workout, if they that is really awesome, or convert that into some people, as you know, have like their own podcast room, and it's just you created, you're building something that's really flexible for the person who comes in with different opportunities. That's really awesome.
Yeah. This is another bedroom back here with a walk-in closet. There's a couple other questions. We'll get to the numbers here. Can you help me with those questions, Keith?
Yeah, they're mostly coming back to most of those questions are coming in as the cost, like the cost for the material. When does the general contractor get paid, during the process or after the process, or they get a percentage?
This general contractor I've worked for with years, and because he's got multiple projects going on, he will get paid for the end of the project. He's fine with that. He's as far as our own people that work directly for the contractor that he pays, they do very little. All this is subs, drywallers, plumbers, roofing. They're all different people. So
Yeah, we get more people saying this
well,
is a
Keith,
great design for like older or folks with limited mobility, to be able to live on the one level. So I totally agree with that.
it is, and it's also great for family. There are a lot of families in this neighborhood, a lot of kids. I'm surprised we didn't see any out on their bikes today, but so with it being 5 bedrooms and 4 baths, um, like I said, it has an office, has a gym, has a dedicated home theater room, uh, and a huge family room. The family room is as big as this whole room is right here. Pretty big size right below us.
Yeah. Well, hey Scott, you're going to definitely have to bring us back to see the finished product. I mean, you got us really
Oh yeah,
excited
I
about
can't
this.
wait to
I
do
think you're
that.
going to sell it faster than what you think. So, but if you don't, take pictures, videos, maybe we can do a recap of this to kind of, close the chapter of the story that you got us on. And this is going to be really awesome. So, as we're getting close towards the end, hey, thank you for everybody who has come and see this. Again, this is a live. That's why we like it, because it's somebody who's in action right now, right? So it's not somebody who used to be. This is somebody in action right now, and then taking their time out. So he's about to go over his numbers, and then after that, Scott will go, give his words of
We'll
wisdom,
wrap it up.
and then we'll wrap it up. So go ahead, Scott.
Well, again, I'm first of all, I want to apologize for everybody with the connection issues. It's you never know how they're going to go, and obviously there's so much information that we can talk about, a lot of in-depth details. It's hard hours. I appreciate your patience and all. So this project here, we acquired this in January and we started the first part of March. I do my numbers on new construction for a full year. I anticipate that we'll be done with this project and on the market sometime in early August. Um, like I said, brickwork starts next week. Um, we'll actually be able to paint not this coming week, but the next week on the inside. So that's going to be exciting. So acquisition, guys, I bought and with legal and closing fees, the acquisition was right at 27.6. I deal on this lot. I mean, I really, really did. Most lots like this sell more than 90,000, and so I got a good start with a good acquisition price. Our building costs on this project right off of 100,000, 387, and that's with a little bit of cushion, a little bit of extra room in there. Always like to budget up. Our holding costs, which include taxes, insurance, utilities while we're building it, are going to run about $5,400. And that's budget for a year now. The money costs are also budgeted for a year at 48,000. What that means, guys, is I'm doing this complete project using part lenders who I have built relationships with in the community to fund this project. And so they're getting a good return on their money. And so those are my money.
Oh, we look like we may have lost them. Well, hey everybody. We just want to thank you for being here. We have these every Saturday. We have another one.
I'm
Not
back,
sure.
Keith.
Oh, you back, Scott. We will go ahead and wrap it up because I think you've coming in and out. But again, hey
Yeah,
everybody, thank you for being here. I know Scott, you may have a couple more words of wisdoms, but we keep losing the connection.
sure. I apologize, Keith. So
That's
our
okay.
total budget's at 5,067. Yeah, and I'm going in at 5,997, maybe a little north of that when we go to sell it. But that's what we're budgeting as what we'll end up selling it for, our in sell price. Probably the market 600, and then a potential profit is right at $93,000. Any other questions, Keith, before we wrap it up?
No, everybody's saying this is awesome. They're saying, thank you. Even with all the stuff that's happening, Scott, it still was worth our time to actually, show this because it's encouragement, right? That hey, they saw the big price tag, but they saw the work, they understand that the connections that they need to make, and it doesn't happen overnight. And you keep talking about how you built relationship, you kept building relationships, but it starts when somebody takes action to start. And so if you're on the fence thinking about real estate investing, let's go ahead and get this thing started, right? So that way you can get to the level and the goals that you want to achieve. And at the same time, again, Scott, thank you for taking your time out. You're still going through the process of the house. We're going to be really excited to see the finished work. And if you're part of the community and you have a deal that's going on and you want to, be featured, let us know so that way we can highlight you because people want to see people doing this. And by the way, we've been doing this for some time. He said, over 4 years. And we've been doing it, throughout this year. And people keep talking about the market, right? Well, guess what? People are still buying houses. People still selling houses. Let's don't play double dutch, right? Let's get into the game of real estate investing. Thank you for everybody being here. Y'all all have a great day and an awesome Saturday. See you next weekend.